In this episode of Mountain Bike Chronicles, we are in the U.S. at the fifth stop of the UCI Downhill. Windham, New York receives the Downhill Elite. Marcus Bacol became the best mountain biker from Austria, surrounded by his family. The fork is one of the most important components for a mountain bike and consists of a sophisticated system. All this and much more in this edition of Mountain Bike Chronicles. Marcus Bacol's story begins in his hometown of Schladming.
I started downhill riding when I got my first downhill bike. It was a Kona Stinky Deluxe. This is me at home, where we built our own track.
Marcus's professional career began behind his house, where he built his own track and raced. His friends would time his runs.
Two friends of mine were standing with a radio, one at the start and one at the finish line. The counting was 3, 2, 1, he's off. And the guy at the finish pushed the button and clocked our time. Here we are in the first third of the track. This is originally a walking trail. So we made some signs like, "Attention, mountain bikers crossing." This brought us a bit of trouble with some of the runners. Hi, Heli. Hi, Marcus. How is it? Are you training? No, just for a walk. This is the steep curve which we built. We were racing straight, and then on this curve, the bench was sketchy, and then down to the finish.
This path led the now 24-year-old to the elite downhill at the UCI World Tour. In Windham, New York State, the best downhill riders get ready for the fifth race of the season. The best rider currently is Aaron Gwynn, who loves his home race in particular.
Coming to Windham is it's one of my favorite places, definitely as far as racing goes every year. The track here is really fast and it's pretty short. You have to really be on it from the start gate to the finish line. If you make mistakes here, they kind of can cost you. And there's nothing really that technical here either that really separates people, so you kind of have to ride that limit all the way down. But I like it, it's fast, it kind of suits my style, so it's usually pretty good.
His toughest rival for the overall victory is Greg Minnaar of South Africa. As in training, he also has problems in the race and ends up with a disappointing 9th place. Marcus Bacol left a lasting impression for the first time in 2009 at a World Cup event in his hometown.
I remember your 10th place at Schladming so well. I was there with your girlfriend and we both wished you all the best. But you just passed us on the way to the gondola in a trance. You were so absent that I was concerned. I just hoped it would go well for you. Then he finished in 10th, which was so great.
Yeah, as an Austrian, from skiing people were used to winning. But mountain biking was kind of new. So to be in the top 20 or top 10 was unimaginable. And then suddenly it worked out. That's when I realized I could ride with the best.
Yes, that was thrilling. I remember that so well. I was there with my husband. We were hugging each other. We were so happy.
Mom, I came in 10th place. I didn't win the World Cup there.
That doesn't matter. That was your first good result.
The whole thing went so far that I made it onto the cover of Dirt magazine. To be on the cover was a big thing for this little boy.
In Windham, the top riders get ready for launch. The 5th of 7 races can already make a preliminary decision for the World Cup. Danny Hart from England knows this and starts explosively.
Now this, no exaggeration, you could see a winning run here. Danny Hart crashed out in practice.
Pretty gnarly. It's so steep and it's blind, and if you get offline there, you can easily bottom out.
He ranks 4th overall, and with a good run, he takes the lead in Windham. Now Marcus Picol wants to prove that he belongs in the top rankings.
For the Austrian.
He starts motivated.
Now this man,
Due to an error in the beginning, he is far behind.
car crash actually after
So they're going to win you races. It's all gamble out here. These guys, the lines they take, the setup they
He
have.
fights his way from a 55th place at the first time marker. And in the end, he's 24th, but still disappointed over the loss. Marcus spends a lot of time with his team, and on this journey, they become a sort of surrogate family.
I travel with 4 or 5 different nationalities, so a lot of funny things happen. The vibe is pretty relaxed, and so it's a pretty good time. In the team, we help each other, like washing the bus or helping to build up the team stand.
Time at home for the family-oriented Austrian is an important source of strength for the long trips.
I'm a guy who likes to travel, but I really love coming home. Here I can relax and don't always have to talk about racing. It's always cool.
I always hope that he returns home safely. Of course, I wish him a victory or a podium finish at a World Cup race. But the most important thing is that he comes home healthy.
It's also a goal of mine. Till now, it's worked out.
One of the most important components on the mountain bike is the suspension fork. It's a sophisticated system and absorbs the impact.
So on this particular fork, you have a damper side or a damper leg, which has the rebound damper and its adjustments on the bottom, and the compression damper. The left side of the fork is the air spring.
The suspension fork therefore has 2 tasks, the compression on one part and the spring back on the other. The compression is based on hydraulics. The piston pushes the oil through a valve and sinks slowly through the resistor. Depending on how far the valve is open, this will happen faster or slower depending on the resistance, similar to a doctor's syringe squeezing against a resistor. The air spring will then force the piston to spring back to its original position. This is done by compressing the air, just like preventing the air from escaping a bicycle pump. The pressure should not be too high, otherwise the fork will not travel the required distance.
This fork goes 8 inches, so basically if you're not getting full travel, if you're only getting 7 inches, I'd recommend decreasing your air pressure probably in 5-pound increments, because you want all your travel on a downhill course, for sure, absolutely. On the damping side, again, we like to run the compression as open as possible to keep the fork as sensitive as possible, and then add high speed and low speed pending course conditions. For sharp hits is high speed. For body roll, brake dive type situations is low speed. Rebound, same thing. You want controlled rebound, so you want the fork to return as fast as possible, but not so fast that it causes you to go out of control.
The damping thus operates against a resistance, both during the compression and the extension of the fork. The force of extension and travel will be determined by the air pressure. Together, they form a system that delivers optimum results in the sport of mountain biking. In Windham, it's time to decide. G. Atherton of England wants to improve his 3rd place in the overall standings.
This afternoon, if he pulls something big out of the bag, no questioning this man.
He has a consistent run and takes the lead. The Canadian Steve Smith begins his plan for a podium finish as well. In the end, he overtakes G and sits at the top. First place in the last 3 races, Aaron Gwynn.
Aaron Gwynn, we're in Windham. Can he be the winner? The internet can't keep up with this man. He's just a few turns away from taking his 4th world.
Even on his home turf, he leaves no room for doubt and wins his 4th consecutive race.
Look at the time by Aaron Gwynn.
Man, wild run though, so short, you gotta pin it, but dude, I'm so stoked. As good as it gets for me. I got my family, friends, all these people here, and man, it makes it so fun.
After the 5th event in Windham, Aaron Gwynn adds to his lead at the top of the UCI rankings. In 2nd place is Greg Menard, followed by G. Atherton. In the next episode of Mountain Bike Chronicles, we switch disciplines and the FMB World Tour in Les Deux Alpes. The best freeride mountain bikers battle for points at the Crankworks slopestyle event. Sam Reynolds and Sam Pilgrim not only share the same first name and nationality, they are both considered contenders for overall victory in the FMB World Tour. All this and more on the next edition of Mountain Bike Chronicles.